All right, let's get things going here. So we will get things live on LinkedIn and we'll be on our way, everyone. Thanks for coming. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us once again at the Exit Your Way Business Roundtable, where today we're going to be talking about Clubhouse. What's the big deal? Everyone's got at least 100 people that's asked them, are you on Clubhouse? And blah, 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 blah. So we're going to get to see we're going to get some opinions from the people out there that have been using it. We're going to talk about, the good, the bad, and all that kind of stuff. But just happy to be here once again and allow everyone a place to connect and learn and grow and build relationships. So if you're listening to us on LinkedIn Live, one of the things we want you to do is go ahead and tell us where you're listening from, ask any questions, put comments in there. We got Ira, Andrew going to be looking at that. I even see it once in a while. And the other thing. So Mark asked, what's the garbage disposal? I said, no, that's his desk moving up and down. We hear that a lot. So, So drop your LinkedIn link in the comments if you want people to be connecting with you. Same thing. If you're on LinkedIn, you want to do that, you can join us on Remo. If you just go to my profile and look at the link in one of my posts this week, it's there. It's the same. You can come back to us. So we're going to get started like we normally do, and we're going to have everyone come up and introduce themselves. We're going to talk. What we want to do today is introduce yourself, how you're helping people, and then we are going to do the infamous question of the day. And this we have a multi-choice. What's that, Andrew? You look like something's going on there. You're on mute.
Don't give him the question. Let's just pull Andrew Deutsch up first and then give him the question. Don't let him prepare.
Oh yeah, okay, good. So yeah, bring Andrew up because I know he's
first on the list today.
What?
Yeah. Welcome, Andrew. How are you today?
Ever feel like being singled out, Andrew?
I was better before I was singled out as some sort of a clown or something by the other Andrew.
Yeah,
Andrew too.
It's mutual admiration, man.
That's
mutual
Andrew crime.
C comes before D, but okay.
I got my eye on you.
Yeah. Andrew Deutsch, our resident video expert. If you want to learn about how to use, upgrade your video presentation skills, he's the guy to talk to. That's for sure. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Andrew, and then I will give you the question of the day.
I get called on in meetings to go up first so I can be a clown. That's what I do. No, we're a strategy first marketing and sales consultancy. We help companies get unstuck and grow because they need to understand better who their customer is, needs, desires, and the pains that need to be solved. They need to know how to differentiate in a way that helps them get in front of all of the other alternatives, solutions for their customers' issues and problems. And we do it better than anybody else. How's that for confidence?
That's awesome. And I would reinforce those statements because I've seen what you can do. So our question of the day is, what is one thing you would spend more time doing in your 20s or 30s than you did? Now, this is not go back and change anything. This is just like, hey, I would blah, blah this. Or you can share a win that you had in the last week or so. You can choose, but what is one thing you would spend more time doing in your 20s and 30s, or you can share a win? So we have a multiple choice today.
In my 20s and 30s, I would have spent even more time on some of my creative pursuits that I do now. Probably spend a lot more time in the glass shop or something like that, or making furniture.
So do you actually blow glass?
I sometimes rent in a studio, but at home I don't have.
Yeah.
At home I have kilns and work with glass in different ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, if every couple times a year I'll rent time in a studio. It's too expensive to do that from home. Not to mention the fire burning, keeping it liquid for. Yeah. That would be insane. Yeah. Which of course I would do since it is insane, but. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff. That's awesome. That's awesome. Create more time to your creative stuff. I think that would in later in life, that would probably pay off and being more creative throughout your life.
Creativity is the thing that keeps me sane.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Andrew.
Good thing. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being here. Brad, wonderful
Morning.
to see you again. Boom.
All right.
Let us know how you're helping people, and then we'll get you to talking about the question.
I think the phrase I would focus on today is you can't grow a company beyond the limitations of the leader. And so what I do is I help people eliminate limitations so that they can get to their goals faster, and then I shorten up the distance too. So that's what I do.
Very good. Very good.
Something that it took a bit. Something I would have done more in my 20s, given the wisdom I have now, right? I would literally have built more relationships.
Great point. Great point. That would be a powerful one. And you think about that. And if you would have been able to build them and maintain them better throughout the years without those people falling out of your out of just knowing where they're at and what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, Brad. So great to have you here. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Kurt Anderson, the manufacturing e-commerce evangelist. How are you today, my friend?
Awesome, boys. How's everybody, ladies and gentlemen? So happy Thursday. Thank you. So, hey, I dropped Andrew Deutsch had an awesome podcast interview with Allison and Ray on MFG Out Loud. Guys, yeah. I dropped the link. I strongly encourage everybody to catch it. Andrew, awesome. What a great podcast. So what a great story Andrew has. E-commerce, we do e-commerce training for manufacturers. As a matter of fact, just a little shameless plug, Ira, Damon, myself, we're taking the road show to Temple University in April. So we have a whole webinar series that we're doing helping manufacturers. So we're excited about that. And in my 20s and 30s, I would have taken a lot better care of my hair, man. I don't know what happened. So that's what I would have done. So that's, who knows? Feel my pain, boys. Feel my pain, right? So,
yeah.
And lastly, Andrew, go blue, man. We're rooting Michigan on for the 30. So happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks a lot, Kurt. We'll have you back up. We're talking about the old Clubhouse here later. AJ, awesome to see you again, my friend. How are you today?
I'm great. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Ira. So how are you people?
Awesome. Awesome. So go ahead and tell us about how you help people.
Hey, this is AJ. I'm from India, so I'm into the staffing industry. So I help my clients to find the people they are looking for, mostly into the IT sector, developers and all these kind of stuff throughout the US.
Awesome. So you're helping place IT staff in the United States. That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much, AJ. Awesome to have you here as always. Hope you enjoy the talk today. So
great to be over
I know
here.
You're on Clubhouse. I've seen you there before. We've been in the same room, so it's good. Good. Thanks. So I just want to quickly say, Rim Beckers and Jason Ricks, thanks for joining us on LinkedIn. Got some great stuff going on here today. And Mr. Dan Bigger, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Just getting better every day. Getting better every day. I love it.
That's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. If you got to get older every day, you might as well get better every day.
True.
Well, Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're helping people.
I'm the director of operations at an injection tooling and molding company in Central New York. We help companies make their parts. So, my days are filled with trying to bring back jobs from China and bring jobs back here. And I also, I'm also one of the creators of USA Manufacturing Hour, which is a chat to bring manufacturers together to talk about topics in manufacturing.
Yep. That's a Twitter chat every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Get on there, check out the hashtag. You can see the questions, the answers, all the interaction. It's a fast hour. You will not believe how quickly that hour goes. But
that's an understatement.
Yeah, and it's so great to hear that, Dan, talking about keeping work in the U.S. or bringing work back. You know, we had Harry Mosier on our Friday manufacturing e-commerce thing with the reshoring initiative. That was an awesome presentation yesterday where he was talking about total cost and of products compared to offshore. So it was just that was really cool. So thanks for bringing it up, Dan. And like I said, people, if you haven't seen the USA Manufacturing Hour Twitter chat Thursdays at 2 p.m. It's a great place to interact with other manufacturing people. So Dennis Bolger, thanks for being here, Dan. Dennis Bolger, awesome to see you again, sir. How's the weather today in your world?
This is what happens when you take a couple of weeks off and you don't get to see your friends again for a while. But I'm back. So good. We're live and living in Edmonds, Mukilteo, Linwood, Washington, and watching the rain. And all is good. We're in the insurance business, and our goal is to help people understand the products that they have and improve their protection, decrease their expenses, and increase the client satisfaction with the products that they have. And so that's what we do. And we have a great team that does it, and which lets me go when I need to leave town, right?
Yeah.
So, and what would I do in my 20s and 30s more of? I would still be skiing. That was the one thing that I just absolutely loved when I was a kid, and I kind of truncated it when I got married, and I wish I was still doing it. And he's wearing his blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Andrew had to get his Michigan stuff on. That's awesome, Dennis, though. I think a lot of us would do that because it's one of those things that I believe. I've got a friend of mine that lives over here in Redmond, and he skis almost every day throughout the winter. He's got one of those passes where he goes up early in the morning and does it, and he's 70. And he's in his early 70s, and he can out ski me any day of the week. But it's just that repetition and doing it. That's a great one. That's a great one. Awesome, Dennis. Thanks for being here. Well, Jacob Warren, our bearded IT warrior, how are you today?
Pretty good. How is everybody else doing today?
You know, freaking awesome, man. Just freaking awesome. I don't know why, but it feels like I had 2 pots of coffee already.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm falling behind here on LinkedIn. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jacob, and how you're helping people, and then you can answer the infamous question of the day, man.
All right. So how do I help people? Essentially, I help secure your digital workforce. And I do that using some awesome technology to make sure that you're able to do your job more efficiently, more safely, if that's the right grammar to use there, and to really help your teams be able to still collaborate when they're spread across everywhere, and really just allow you to truly connect and present your business better to your clients.
Awesome, man.
And then I came in late, so I totally missed the question.
Well, the question is, what is the one thing you would spend more time doing in your 20s or 30s if you could, knowing what you know now?
Ooh, I would.
Not being late doesn't count.
Ah, dang it. Ooh, 20s. Let's see. I think I would have spent more time probably out on an ATV. So I really enjoyed getting out in the woods on a quad, or for me, it was a dirt bike. And I think I would have spent a little bit more time out there just enjoying nature, getting a little bit more involved with it, and having a blast. There's something about grabbing that throttle.
That's a good one. Yep. I'm thinking about that. That'd be really good. Thanks for being here, Jacob. Awesome seeing you, man. I know he's going to be part of our Clubhouse discussion. John, awesome having you here today. Tell us a little bit about how you help people, and we'll go to the question after that.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys, and you're doing a great job at these events. So John Maglino, Director of Marketing with Uptessa, and I look to align with manufacturers to optimize their production plans and schedules. So we help you get what you need to get done and produced in the most efficient way. And we're helping manufacturers in the U.S. and around the world. So definitely looking to more manufacturers tell our story, but we just look to optimize plans and schedules. And if I had to do something different about 10 years ago, I definitely think I missed the opportunity on building community and networking. I think it's something that I should have done earlier in my career because I've learned so much from the individuals around me and who I've aligned with. And there's a couple people I'm going back to get their intake and speak with them a little bit more. So I think I should have focused on that earlier in my career for sure.
Cool. That's a good one. You know, that's just, it's a powerful thing to have those people that you can, that you can text now 20 years later.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
or whatever it is. It's a big thing, and it's easy to overlook it in the moment. That's for sure. Awesome having you here today, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. So on LinkedIn, we got a few people. Ron Craig's weighing in, Matt's weighing in, John's weighing in, and then we got a little bit between Matt and John here. We're talking about the Packers because there's Wisconsin guys here, so they might get something going there. So that's good stuff going on LinkedIn. Kevin, awesome to see you again.
Yeah. So I'm Kevin Williams. I'm in Park City, Utah. This is sort of interesting for me because I'm in mid-reinvention of myself. I would have called myself a direct-to-consumer product brand owner type guy, but I managed to sell that company last year. And now I am almost very closely officially founding my 7th startup, which is in ad tech. And we're helping digital marketers better own their first-party marketing data and visualize it in light of a lot of technological and privacy changes happening in the marketplace. Things I wish I'd done in my 20s. I seem to have a bad habit of moving from like hot real estate market to hot real estate market and never actually buying property. And if I could have my 20s back, I would have bought a lot of property in Washington, D.C. I think my life would look a little bit different now had I. I'll remind my kids of that when they get there.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Kevin. Thanks so much for being here, man. Enjoy it. And if you haven't talked to Kevin about what's happening in privacy and how that's changing the data you're going to have to advertise, man, it's worth talking to him a little bit about it. We're actually going to be on our live stream talking about it here in April sometime. So awesome. Thanks, Con. Awesome having you here today, sir.
Good to be here, guys. Good to be here. Good to be seen. Thank you for having me. So a little bit of an introduction. My name is Con Apostolopoulos. Simple, just the same way it sounds. That's the way it's spelled, right? On
super simple.
Yeah. Shaking his head. I'm the founder and CEO of Fresh Biz Solutions. It's an HR consulting practice, and I help individuals and organizations improve their performance and achieve their goals. And I typically do that through one of 3 ways, either through tailored events, workshops, training, facilitating team building sessions, or strategic planning. I do executive coaching for their leadership team, and I consult with them on their people systems to make sure that every dollar that they spend is a dollar that goes to the right place to help their people and their organization really, really achieve breakthrough performance. So that's in a nutshell what I do. As far as the question of the day, I wouldn't change a damn thing, because in my 20s, I lived my dream. I really got to pursue, realize, and live my dream and travel the world and get paid for it. So I wouldn't change a damn thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, when you hear that just makes me happy. It does, dude. It does. That's cool. That's cool. Well, thanks for being here today, Con.
Thanks
Love
for having me,
you.
guys.
And, I always think whenever I hear Con speak, he's got just like this voice of gold. It's just so soothing and so awesome. He could have been Mr. Calling to be a radio announcer or a TV personality, man. Awesome. Mark, great having you here today.
Thanks, Damon. Yeah, good to see you too. Glad to be back. So I am a fractional COO. I'm a bolt-on right-hand man. I'm helping visionary CEOs develop a strategy for growth and execute that strategy, whether that's marketing, product development, customer experience, all of that stuff, all of the above. And So in terms of my 20s, what I would do differently in my 20s, or what I'll keep it clean, of course. I think I would probably have done a lot more networking is what I would have done. I think that's a common theme, and maybe taken some more entrepreneurial risks, pursued my own ideas. I was part of some startups, but usually following somebody else's vision. So I think I probably would have just, taken the risk to do it myself.
Yeah, that's a great one to think about, whether you could go back and do that and do that again with the knowledge today. That'd be good.
Right.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having you. If you didn't see it, Mark was here last week, wasn't it? And did the jobs to be done theory. That was awesome, dude. That was a great one. If you haven't caught that and got the book and took a look at it, jump onto our blog. It's on there. Jump onto my live. You can see it last week. That was an awesome presentation. And his description of a milkshake made me think completely differently about a milkshake. That's for sure. So Melissa, awesome.
You're cutting him off there quickly.
Oh, that's all right. He knows we love him. And he knows we're having fun. So Melissa, awesome to see you again today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and then answer the question of the day.
Sounds great. Thanks for being here. It's good to see everyone's faces. I got sidebarred when you talked about milkshakes, because right now I'm on like a chocolate milkshake kick. And so every time we're like grabbing a snack, I'm like, I want a chocolate milkshake, and it'll last like a month and then it'll turn into something else. But right now it's chocolate milkshake. So anyway, sidebar. I also think I'm the only female lady on the call today. So representing all the female business owners out there. I know Tina was on and she had to drop off. So I was like looking at the list.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my practice is twofold. It's all about elevating leaders. So I work with individual leaders on coaching, whether it's group coaching or one-on-one coaching. And then I also partner, and those that are more connected with me on LinkedIn, I partner with Coach U, who I did my coach training with, to share the programs that they have around elevating leadership, and how the big thing for me is how do we get more leaders to take a coach approach, right? And for those that are coaches, they understand that. We don't want leaders to become coaches. They can be, but how do they listen more intently? How do they ask better questions? How do they message and acknowledge their teams to create collaboration and teamwork and culture, right? Employee retention. We talk about how expensive it is to replace someone. And if we just did things maybe a little differently. Damon, I think you said it. People leave people, right? They don't leave organizations. Okay, off my bandwagon. I talk fast, so it helps me get a lot of words in really fast. So 20s and 30s, the first thing that came, so I am in my 40s. I know I look young. I'm just helping myself feel like that. But in my 20s and 30s, I would have traveled more. And I think Mark said network more. So I really only networked with the people within the organization I worked with. And that was just a learning lesson that you have to be more connected than just the people in your current organization, and travel. I worked super hard and I played hard within my organization and my network, but I would have traveled more internationally. And I did that. I've done that more recently, but man, there was a lot of energy I left on the table of not traveling to Europe and other amazing countries when I was in my 20s. So that's what I got. Great to be here today, and happy to see everyone's faces.
Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much. Wonderful having you. Professor Pete Alexander, our stress relief expert. Awesome seeing you, man.
Awesome seeing you too, my friend. It's a tough act to follow with Con, and actually Mel has a very similar one for me. I'll say that first, and then I'll just say what my elevator pitch is. So in looking back, I definitely regret not taking my bike to Europe and just riding around, staying at hostels and stuff when at that age. I would have loved to have done that. And what happened was I needed to start working. And so I started, making the money because there wasn't any money around. So I didn't have the money to go to Europe and just say, screw it, and just go ahead and enjoy learning the culture and stuff. So if I had to do things over again, that's what I would have done for sure. Just a little about me. I'm a popular podcast host, and as Damon mentioned earlier, I empower working professionals to go from mentally and emotionally overwhelmed to better protecting their health and handling challenging situations with grace and success. Stress relief.
Awesome. Awesome, Pete. And if you haven't heard some of Pete's podcasts or listened to some of his stress relief tips, get on LinkedIn, get on the websites and take a listen. Good stuff in there. I mean, and your stuff is that the thing I think is powerful about Pete's stuff is it's like literally a minute. You can just do one of his things and it's like whew, stress level goes way down. Randy, how are you today?
I am fantastic. I'm happy to be here. It's great to be able to be seen and have a chance to just be on here with a bunch of great people.
I'm so happy.
I'm known as the kindness giver. I'm a passionate kindness advocate. I'm the chief kindness officer for the PPOC Institute. I work with organizations to help them identify fundamental to create a world-class culture and operationalize those behaviors. I'm an author of the book, The Kindness Giver's Formula. I teach people and coach people on how to more fully implement and embrace the behaviors associated with kindness so that they can create a better personal brand as well.
Awesome.
And just happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So what's the one thing you would spend more time doing in your 20s and 30s if you could?
I would spend two things. I would spend more quality time with my family, with my children, with my wife.
Yeah.
And I would spend more time on my creative, taking a leaf out of Andrew Deutsch's book. I'd be spend more time on my creative side of me, and writing books sooner and getting into those kind of things a lot sooner than I did.
Yeah.
So,
very good. Very good. Well, Randy, awesome to have you here, and wonderful just having you around to be able to participate today. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I did see a comment over here on LinkedIn that Andrew may want to address. Matt is saying he has a badge or W hat if you need one. So you can flip that M upside down and get a W hat.
There you go.
All right. So who else do we have to come up? Here we go. Ron Craig, our resident cybersecurity expert. How are you today, sir?
Pretty good. As you know, I haven't been around too much, so I guess I thought I'd come on to people. You can see my new haircut and of course all my space stuff I wear. But yeah. So anyway, it's nice to be here. Nice to see you guys. And I guess I might have missed the question.
What's the shirt?
I think I guess the basis of it is what you would have done differently in your 20s. Is that the idea?
Well, tell us about what you do first.
Oh, what do I do? What don't I do? I am a writer, copywriter for the cybersecurity and now space industry. So I actually have a number of things that I'm doing. I'm managing and looking after the content for the Honor Society for the US and Canada. And of course, all the cyber clients that I have as well. So a lot of work going on there. So if anybody needs any copywriting for technology, space, I'm your guy.
Awesome. Well, then answer our question. What would you spend more time doing in your 20s and 30s if you could go back and do it today?
I think I would actually do, because my heart and my passion has always been about around the space industry and space in general and Mars, as you guys can tell, I think I would have spent a little bit more time focused in that area and actually getting more, education and more direction and getting into the aerospace industry. And, I'm kind of getting into that now a little bit more than when in the past. So I'm a little late to the party, but that's okay. I'll make it work. But I think it would have been a little easier if I was doing it when I was younger. So, I think I would have liked to put my head there as well.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, there's some good stuff that's happened in the last 20
years. Iris from Mars, he says. So, which makes sense. I mean, those glasses, I saw a Martian wearing those glasses in my shop.
There we go. Well, thanks for being here today, Ron. It's great to see you. Troy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys? Nice to see you.
Awesome.
So Troy Niehaus, I'm an advisor with Bernstein Private Wealth here in our Seattle office. And let's see, what do? I make money meaningful. And, our clients know that they're going to be okay. But one of the reasons they hire, okay financially, because they're very wealthy. But one of the reasons they hire us is to help them work through, the complex issues that come with having significant amounts of wealth. And I focus my practice working with entrepreneurs, business owners, and very senior corporate executives.
Awesome.
And let's see, what would I have done differently? It's probably, I've mentioned this in the past on these calls, but I regret not being able to see a lot of the landmarks throughout the U.S. And so, you know, when I was younger, I wish I would have traveled a little bit more to see some of the you know, the big things that the U.S. is famous for.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've seen a bunch, but I wish I would have done a little bit more traveling.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because you know, there are just so many incredibly beautiful places in the United States. Just I mean, you just think of them. Even when you go East Coast, Central, West Coast, there's just so many different places, and you could literally spend your lifetime, I think, looking at them, going and seeing them, and then you just explore. You just find more.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's a great, Troy. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, we got more people, or is it us on the stage now?
That's it, I think.
Oh, we got if
anybody I missed
here. John says he actually lives in Minnesota, so he may be a Vikings fan instead of a Packers fan, which can start a whole different argument on the LinkedIn chat over there. So I will let them take care of that, because I'm just glad to be out of the Midwest, so I don't have to like either team. That's what I'm good for. So
South Dakota,
the ones on I grew up in South Dakota. I had to like the Bears just because I hated the Packers, and not hated, but I did not like the Vikings or the Packers. So that was my team.
There's more to the world than the NFC North, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more.
Yeah. In your world, there is. That's for sure. So let's go ahead, Ira. Let you start off. Tell us about yourself, and then answer the question, and then we'll go to Andrew.
All right. Well, what am I? I've been trying to figure that out for a while. Apparently, I'm not a male Martian spider, but that would be good. I am the owner of Bowman Digital Media. What do we do? It's basically about building your audience. That's what it really is, right? So your digital space, a lot of people said they'd network more. I happen to be very good at networking, and I've been good at networking my whole life. So that's a talent that I've used to help other business owners build their audience online, right? Website traffic, social media traffic. We create images, capture images, manipulate images to create marketing tools. But the bottom line is we're there to help you build your audience. So that's what we're doing. The Bowman Digital Media. As far as what I would do more of in my 20s, I think that if I could get to the place where I learned that life is too short to be selfish faster, that'd be good. So if I could sit myself down and say, hey, buddy, it's not all about you. It's about others, helping others. When I got there in my 40s, my life has been better since. So that's what I would tell myself if I could.
That's freaking awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. That'd be a great thing. All right. Well, Andrew.
Yeah. So, well, you know, Damon and I founded Exit Your Way, and we help business owners get to 8-figure exits, and build great companies. So that's what we do. What would I do for my 20s? My daughter just went through medical school. She's now in her late 20s, and she was at the beginning of that, said, you know, I'm going to be 32 before all this is done. You know, I'm going to miss my whole 20s. And I'm like, well, they were overrated anyways. Don't worry about it. You're doing a great thing. And I can't say I did, you know, I didn't hold back. I did a lot of what I wanted to do, but if I had to go back, I could change time or do something different. Would I change the time continuum? Would that mess things up? I don't know, maybe. Like Hot Tub Time Machine. But I think I'd spend a little bit more time at Michigan down in the computer lab, and maybe be friends with Sergey Brin and start a little company with search engine capabilities called Google. I'd invest a little bit in that and see how he was doing. Other than that, all good.
Yeah, that would be something, that's for sure. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, it's down to me. And as I'll repeat what Andrew said, we help business owners, you know, take care of the frustration, get their businesses running right so they can create the money they want today, the legacy they want to leave tomorrow. it's so rewarding to be able to see business owners doing these exits where they, never thought they could do this, and seeing them see the payday today, making more money today, and then the long term. Because you want to see somebody that's happy is when they drop a multi-million-dollar wire into their account, and it's a good day for everyone, believe me. So it's fun stuff. We love doing it, and if you can't tell that I'm passionate about it, well, then I think you might be sleeping. But what would I do different when I'm in my 20s and 30s? I would have, if I could go back and do it more. I quit riding motorcycle after I got out of college. It's probably a good thing. I probably wouldn't be here today if I didn't, but I probably would have a street bike and do a lot more riding than I did now. But I also can really bond to some of the people talking about networking, because I was horrible throughout the years. I early in my career, I created a lot of great relationships that I did not maintain well enough. And people just left over, dropped off over time. But social media has helped to do that. But I think that networking thing when you're younger is very, very, very important, especially keeping on the phone where you can talk to people. So, yeah.
Well, it's good. We didn't know what it was, and we weren't good at it.
No, you didn't. You just go to work for a company, and that's what you get, So,
have kids.
We need to mention we're having an event, guys, on April 13th, and it's called the Entrepreneurial Business Accelerator Blitz. If you're running a business of any kind, this is a free opportunity to see what we do at Exit Your Way. So it's going to be a 90-minute event. We're going to talk about 12 different factors that can help you. Look, none of us, every single person who came up on the stage, none of us are perfect at everything. You're not, right? You can be really good at a lot of things, but you're not a master at these different things. So come help us or learn how we can help you diagnose these 12 different categories, these 12 different sections of your business. You can identify maybe some things that you're like, man, I didn't even realize that was a part of this. And then, we can give you some tips, some practical takeaways that you can implement for free and get your business stronger. And then, of course, if you're interested in, hiring us to help you in one of those 12 or multiple of those 12, afterwards, then at least you'll know what we do. A lot of people in this room probably still don't know what we do at Exit Your Way. So we're gonna teach a little bit more, and it'll help your business. I promise you, it'll help you.
Well, like the event here today, I mean, we want to share information that people can take and use. And if they can use it, great. If they need help, great. We're here to give people information that can help them in their business and build better lives and better relationships. And that's what this is about. And what we're trying to do overall is really be able to bring our program that we use in the larger businesses to a level in group coaching and one-on-one meetings to bring it to a much, much wider audience that can benefit from it. Because we have seen just really wonderful results with our clients. But let's get on. That's awesome. April 13th. What time is it again, Ira? 10 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah. That's 1 Eastern, and it goes to 11:30 Pacific time. So
yep.
90 minutes.
We're going to have 4 or 5 people speaking, so it's going to be pretty wide, pretty fast like this. We're going to keep things rolling and do that. So you'd be ready to take notes, and we will push the video out to the people that have that attend. So back to our session today on Clubhouse. If you haven't been bombarded with about 100 people asking about Clubhouse, I don't know. You must be
You're not awake, right?
Not awake, yeah, or not on social media, which that could be. But this is something that confound or just really confuses me to a certain point. Is that how did a social media platform build like this? It's been around for over a year now. I think the year anniversary was a couple of weeks ago or something like that. I don't know how many users are on it, but there's millions of users, and it's really an interesting audio only format. If you haven't seen it, basically. You can get in, and I don't know if you can show a screenshot or something, Ira, or something, but you get in, you can get on, and basically it's audio listening. There's a stage where people can be up there talking. For those of you who've been in there, you obviously seen it. So you can open rooms with different topics. And yes, as you can imagine, the topics are wide ranging. And some of them are, as you would expect, you don't even want to go there. But there are some that are different, and they're business related or professional related that are actually pretty good. So I heard in the chat or in the conversation beforehand, Kevin Williams was talking about it. Andrew Deutsch was talking about it. I know Kurt Anderson has been on. So I'd like to really start the conversation off with, if you have someone in the comments, drop or raise your hand if you want to come up and talk about it, to your thoughts. If you've been on Clubhouse and what have you seen, let's get a couple people up here. Andrew, I know Kurt is queued up, and let's see what Kurt or Kevin Williams, let's get them up here if they're available, and have them talk about their experience so far. And I know Pete's been on, and what we really want to do is get some people up talking about their experience and how they've seen it beneficial or not beneficial, because you can waste hours on the damn thing, right? Because you can go from room to room to room and waste tons of time. But I think there are some good and some interesting uses of it. So guys, take it from here. Kurt, let's start with you. So you've been on Clubhouse now how long?
Well, I think you invited me maybe a couple months ago, and I tell you, it really is intriguing. We were dropping comments in the chat box. Like, I have a great face for Clubhouse. That's why I enjoy Clubhouse. Right? So with that, we're talking about like those radio voices, like Con, Randy, Professor Pete. Like a Ben Baker. Like I think those types of topics would resonate extremely well on Clubhouse. A lot of those rooms are very active. Ira and I, we share a client, wonderful gentleman, Damon, you know him, Jeffrey Stern, CEO of Voice Express, hugely successful entrepreneur. He's very deep in faith, and he uses Clubhouse as an escape to get away from business. And I sometimes pop into his chat rooms, and he's talking about faith, his Jewish faith and what have you. You can talk about, I know Andrew Deutsch is huge in music. There's a lot of folks that are active in music. So, I mean, there's a lot of interest, hobby topics that you can talk about. As Damon said, you can find anything as inappropriate as you want on Clubhouse. From a business standpoint, Damon does a great group on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern time, with a group of great entrepreneurs. They and the people love that room. I pop in there periodically. And these guys, and it's a lot of entrepreneurs that are just starting out, or even a lot of seasoned entrepreneurs that are just looking for answered and to dig in. And Damon and his crew do a great job. So I think there's a lot of tremendous value with Clubhouse from what I've seen.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And I'm done talking. That's how you have to. That's what you have to do
on Clubhouse.
I'm done talking.
I'm done talking. So Kevin, you mentioned that you go in there and listen to highly technical subjects. So what has your experience been?
I'll say that my use case is entirely different from Kurt's, and I think that's sort of interesting unto itself. Like, absolutely no way would I do that. Like, I've got enough interactions in my life for specialty, for like social topics and things like that. For me, it gives me access in a very small set of rooms to extremely high level people in technical avenues, people that even if I was invited to the right conferences, I would probably never meet. So I'm not up there on the stage. I'm lurking in the background and listening to senior technical executives at Google or Facebook. The chief privacy officer of Facebook is a frequent panelist in one of the rooms where I attend. And I described this earlier when we were on a roundtable, but it feels like being at a super high-end elite conference and sitting like a fly on the wall at the speaker's table and being able to hear all of those really high-level interactions between people who know that they have mutual credibility. They're all in this sort of rarefied space, and they tend to kind of forget that there are other people in the room. And the knowledge bombs that I've gleaned from that are really exceptional. I don't think it's going to last. I think that these are the same people who are going to be the first ones back to the real conferences.
Yeah.
And right now that they're all jonesing, as it were, for interaction, and they're doing Clubhouse because it's convenient. They can do it at 7 o'clock at night after work and hang out for a while. But pretty soon, as the world starts turning on again, a lot of those people will start drifting away. So that's my use case.
Okay.
Is access to really high level people, not from a networking perspective, but just an informational perspective that I wouldn't otherwise have.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And I've seen some of that. And then to I'm gonna bring Pete up here too, because he's got a different case. And then Jacob, if you're good to come up too, I want to hear from you and Ron about some of the Jacob's got some alternatives. Ron, I know is going to be able to, if he's still here, can give us some of the security perspectives, but it is an interesting platform. I do think, Kevin, you're right that it's going to drop off. And there's a whole, to me, when I see it, there's a whole group of people that it worked for fairly well. If you're a one-to-many kind of coach for entrepreneurs, there's a lot of startup people on there and a lot of stuff like that. I just don't see, and there's the real high-end people like you're saying now on there, which I do believe once they start traveling and once they start going back to the conferences, their time constraints are just going to cut back their time. They're just not going to be able to do it like they're doing it now. So Pete, what's been your experience on Clubhouse?
I'm still learning my way with it, Damon. I do a joint thing with Liz Jones twice a week. I tried one on my own. And what I have found is that where it seems like the most popularity is when there's like 6 or 8 moderators, and each of those moderators has a large following, and then they tend to pull in big groups. So that part I've seen has been interesting. Like there's been a couple of discussions I've sat in on to learn, some different techniques about podcasting, et cetera, that have been good. But I have, in the small groups that I've been the moderator on, I do enjoy the conversations I have. It's just kind of like going through different ideas and sharing ideas. That part I think is good. I don't think it's going to last either because I think it's just kind of like, oh, this is the newest flavor of social media. And it is good that you can, if you don't have to participate, if you just want to listen and multitask while the conversation is going on, I think that's pretty good. I can't say that I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, great perspective, Pete. I appreciate you for sharing it, because I know it's wide ranging when you hear what people are the experiences people have, and I think it's going to be on a person by person basis on basically what you're doing and what you're using it for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if you have a big group of people listening, the other thing that I've seen that has been challenging for those people is if they have a question, they may or may not get pulled up. And so, when you have 1,000 people in one of these groups, how do the 6 or 8 moderators figure out who to pull up? That to me is a challenge in itself.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure, because you can't get your questions asked, or you got to wait an hour to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So Jacob, we talked before. You had mentioned that you and I talked about Clubhouse, and you said, this and that, and you bring up alternatives, and it brings a good point, and to the point of others. Well, what's going to stop a big platform from creating something that's way better? Because if you look at a Facebook, a Twitter, even a LinkedIn, if you had a similar kind of thing from one of them, they've got a user base that, even if they got a minuscule percentage, would dwarf what Clubhouse has now.
Yeah, and where I think I'm, I guess I would say a little bit more reserved with the Clubhouse adoption is that, Clubhouse is great, but it's still strictly popular in the United States only, in Japan with a little bit of Germany mixed in there. And so it's an invite only platform. It limits you to one platform. Whereas both Facebook and Twitter are loads ahead in resources that they have available to be able to push a competing solution, because there's really, when you break down Clubhouse, it's not unique. in the sense of what it does. I mean, it basically creates a social version of what Anchor has been kind of doing over time. And Anchor, I believe, recently was acquired by Spotify. And so when you start looking at the larger group of platforms, it's interesting to see how those are working. And when you dive into the actual different rooms in Clubhouse, there are some amazing groups within there, but there's not a unique feel, or there's not that uniqueness that will last. And so it comes back into line, like everybody else is saying, is that once we can do these real world conferences again, how is that going to affect it? And so unless there's the kind of the world as far as users come in there, I think that's where the concern is with it.
I think you're right. I think that's it's how, and Kevin brought up a great point, is what's going to happen, or Pete, I forget. It's like, once the people come back and can travel, it's going to be hard to get them around. So Ron, I brought you up because you're the cybersecurity guy. How badly are we letting everybody into our data when we jump on Clubhouse? And I'm going to, because I know it's coming.
No. That's all right, Damon. I've downloaded all the data you've ever spoken on there. It's on the web. Yeah. Literally, actually. So yeah, I mean, one thing that Clubhouse, I think, where they fell down in the beginning is when it came to kind of the privacy, not even looking at the nation states and the data being stored offshore and where, it shouldn't be, and, American, Canadian data being, offshore. I mean, that's another problem and another issue. But I think where they kind of fell down in the beginning is very quick to market, which we see happening with a lot of products is, let's just get this out, use what we can to get it out. And Clubhouse used a lot of APIs that were actually not even developed for use here. They're actually developed, they're in China and it's being hosted there. And there was a lot of security and privacy concerns with terms of recording. And I think, they kind of hinted at that in the beginning, is saying that, we moderate and we check whether or not something is, unsafe. Now, of course, in order to do that, they need to record it. So this whole live streaming, it actually is being recorded and stored on servers. And of course, with those servers are being backed up into other locations that are, we come down to governance, basically, is where is the data located? Now, the way I look at it, if you're on there and you're performing business and you're doing business as usual, you're just keeping things on topic, on task, and you're just talking about just, things that are relevant to the topic. I mean, I don't think it matters that much. I don't think you have to worry from that perspective. Like if you're talking about how to improve your marketing, I mean, that's a safe topic. You're not going and saying things that are actually going to be a concern or, so I always think that we always have to watch that we don't jump overboard. We don't, go crazy when we talk about privacy and security to the point of, oh my goodness, they're storing my data. Yeah, but I just talked about marketing. I mean, that's not going to come back and haunt me. I think what you always have to do, and we have to do this in any kind of live, promotions and in live context, is keeping things on point, keeping things in your lane, on task. We should always try to do that better in general from a privacy perspective. In just then you don't have to worry so much. Who cares that we've gotten, my audio where I talked about how to improve sales, how to improve marketing, how to improve leads. That is safe information to be out there talking about. When you start, saying, okay, I'm going to be making it more personal. I'm going to start talking about other countries and their rules and their, legislation. Well, don't do that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
There you
go. So just keep on point, on focus, on task.
Good stuff.
And then you don't have to worry as much. But from a personal perspective, I don't do really anything on Clubhouse just because I'm not, into the talking and, I'm busy writing and stuff. So I'm not really even listening from that perspective. So I don't know if it's a fad that's going to go away. I mean, you guys would know better than I when it comes to that perspective. I just know from the privacy, just like anything, keep it on point.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for your opinion, Ron, and your thoughts. It helps a lot because I know that you look at the details that many of us don't even know. So that's great. Thank you so much. Well, if anyone else has comments they want to do, just go ahead and raise your hand. Jacob, go ahead, man.
Yeah, there's one more piece with how, and it's building on what Ron was saying. It's basically the next 6 months will determine if Clubhouse is truly going to be around and be a major player or be a major acquisition. And I almost compare it to it's at that teetering point where I don't know if you all remember, there was a live streaming platform called Meerkat that literally got funding, got everything. It looked like everything was in line. And then Periscope from Twitter came out and killed it virtually within months. And it was something that nobody really saw happening. But the difference with Clubhouse is that they're trying to breach in the market, and it's land grab. And so it has a lot of potential. It's just whether it's going to be independent or it's going to be acquired. That's kind of, I think, where everything's kind of indicating. They're right at that teetering point.
Yeah, I think you're right. It could just be bought by one of the biggies and that's the end of it, or it's folded in and those kind of things. But it's a great point. I mean, you look at how many social media things have come and gone. This could be a flash. It could be a 2-year thing. And so
let's just look at the numbers real quick. Clubhouse is like an emerging pimple on somebody's face.
Yeah.
Because it's 10 million users. We got 750 million users on LinkedIn. So what does that mean? Clubhouse isn't even 5% of the volume.
Yep.
LinkedIn turned on an audio only lane, Clubhouse would disappear, because most of the people that are on Clubhouse are trying to connect with you on LinkedIn, and Clubhouse has still been so stupid or obtuse, whatever you want to call it, because they won't even let you put your LinkedIn profile on there to connect. They've got Twitter and Instagram, which most people on Clubhouse couldn't give a rip about. So they're not the smartest people in the world, because if they were, they'd be doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And, you know, I actually understand the slow ramp up, why they have rolled out slowly. A lot of people are frustrated. Well, I'm an Android user, I can't use it. But you know why they're doing that? They're doing that because they're trying to build their infrastructure so that they can keep up and not have crashes. When they have some of these people like Elon Musk who come on the platform, it crashes it because they can't handle the volume. That's why it's a slow roll. But that's where, again, somebody with deeper pockets, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, any of those that have millions, if not billions of users, they wouldn't have that same limitation.
Yeah.
So I think Clubhouse has been a nice petri dish. The other players are just watching it going, is this something that's worth actually not buying Clubhouse? So when I say investing in, I'm not talking about an acquisition here. I don't think that Clubhouse interests LinkedIn, because they could. Why do they need to buy that? They could just turn it on. You already you can already do voice messages in your DMs if you want. You can send somebody a voice message right now. So, you know, as a substitute product for LinkedIn Live, I think it makes a hell of a lot of sense, because the reason why everybody doesn't have LinkedIn Live is because videos slow down websites. So audio only data is a lot less taxing on the network. There's a lot of reasons why I think Clubhouse won't make it. And the biggest reason I think it won't make it is because nobody, frankly, wants to hear the opinions of the common man. They seek celebrities. What happens every time a celebrity joins Clubhouse in a room? Everybody on the platform, like, they jet whatever room they're in and they crash the system because you only have 5,000 people in a room. I think when you get a big player who really wants to become an audio only place, Clubhouse disappears by default. Yeah. So if they were smart, they'd be looking to sell it, in my opinion.
There's a lot of work in it. So
there may be. That's one of the things.
Yeah, I mean, that might be. They might be just positioning for an exit, because that would be. I mean, they've built quite a bit of hype, but we're running up on the 9 o'clock hour, so I wanted to stop on time and let Andrew take it from there. But yes, remember, April 13th, we've got the Entrepreneurial Accelerator Blitz, 10 a.m. Pacific. Stop by. We got it. It's the links in my comments. We can drop you the link if you want. Just go ahead and message me on LinkedIn. Let's have a wonderful week, rest of your week. Kick it next week until we talk. If you need anything, let us know. Andrew, take us out from here, man.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great. Good conversation. It's an interesting thing, but reflect back though. That might be the plan from the beginning. They become the pimple on LinkedIn, Ira, as you said, and that might have been the goal. And when they become a pimple, then LinkedIn buys them up and makes it go away. Job done.
Yeah.
So it's interesting stuff. Cool. Hey, we'll go back to the tables again, everybody. Hanging around if you still want to network a little bit. We'll be here, and I think that's it. And hopefully, my Wolverines will. Well, I'm not saying anything about it. You'll go blue. All right.
There we go. Thanks, everyone. We're going to drop back to the tables. I'm going off on LinkedIn Live here. Have a great rest of your week. Boom. Here we go. Doing this. Going to do that. Back to the